Well, this is Jared with Stampede Blue, and this is your Indianapolis Colts post-game wrap. The Colts lost today at home to the LA Rams, and the final score was 27 to 24. The Colts are now 0 and 2, and that gives them about a 10% chance to make the playoffs. So let's just try to enjoy the rest of the season, knowing that clearly no one knows what they're doing, and everyone's just flying by the seat of their pants. Carson Wentz was 20 for 31 for 247 yards with a touchdown, an interception, 3 sacks, and a ram up his ass all day. Matt Stafford, on the other hand, 19 for 30, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, only sacked once, and had a clean pocket all day because the Colts don't care to rush the passer. The Rams rushed 29 times for 101 yards, not terribly effective, and the Colts ran the ball 26 times for 109 yards, and that's a pretty good day carrying a rock. The real problem, though, today was the Colts were unable to cover Cooper Kupp, 9 catches for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, Michael Pittman did have 8 catches for 123 yards, Jack Doyle 5 for 64, Pascal 5 for 38 and a touchdown. That's 3 touchdowns through 2 games for Zach Pascal, earning his keep. But this Colts team came into this season woefully unprepared. Col- uh, Players don't care about records. Coaches do, and staff does. And the reason the Colts are 0 and 2 is because Frank Reich cannot call plays in the red zone. He can get you to the 20, but he can't get you in the end zone. Um, you can't protect your quarterback. You didn't change your game plan, even though you're down 2 tackles and your interior lineman to get chewed up by Aaron Donald all game. This quarterback the Colts just spent $25 million on didn't even make it through 2 games. Like, I can promise you, if I was the head of a billion-dollar organization, you came to me and made me mortgage my future, my company, and then pay $25 million right now for a guy, and he came in and you couldn't even protect him through 2 games, I'd fire you. That's bad personnel management. You're managing my money poorly. The Colts were not prepared. They weren't prepared for the regular season opener, and they weren't prepared in week 2. So the question becomes, when will the Colts be ready? And again, I don't think that falls on players. That falls on coaches and staff. And the problem in coaching in the NFL is that there's a ton of ego and gatekeeping involved. So don't expect changes. Repercussions don't happen. David Carr's basically got beat up and his career shortened by terrible coaches. And I'm assuming most of those guys are still in the league, even though they basically ruined someone's life. So it would be no surprise to me if Carson Wentz is gone for he misses time, and then the Colts don't bother to change their game plan when you put a second-year quarterback in who's not nearly as mobile as Carson Wentz. So I think the Colts are in a lot of trouble. Fortunately for them, though, these 2 games were against non-conference, non-division opponents. So, as I said last week, it's hard to say these games don't matter. Every game matters. These games matter less so. Next week, the important games start. I hope that the Colts fix a lot of things because right now the Colts look really unprepared, slow, not ready for what the opponent's going to do. And then what makes it even worse is they don't make adjustments and fix things and limit guys' ability to hurt you. Like Cooper Kupp, right? You'd think you'd do something to keep him from doing that, from beating you, right? Right? Because Nyheim Hines had 1 carry for 5 yards and 1 catch for 17. So either the Colts took him out and limited his use because they wanted to keep him for the rest of the season, right? But you failed to keep Carson Wentz upright, got him hurt, and he cost a whole bunch of money. You see where that's mismanagement, right? You wouldn't, I hate to say that, Naheem. I did interview him and I do like you, brother. But like you get paid like a fifth of what Wentz does, right? So I can afford to lose Naheem Hines because like I can afford that. But $25 million quarterback, hard to replace. Hard to replace. It's going to be a long season for the Colts. However, the Jags lost today, the Texans lost today, and the Titans are going to get themselves into a dogfight. So there's hope for the division, even though the Colts will start at 0 and 2. They're in a pretty bad division. So it's gonna be winnable, right? And that's the problem is that bad coaches get to keep their jobs, bad assistants get to keep their jobs because you win your division and because you're in the dance, right? This has been Jared with Stampede Blues, your Indianapolis Colts post game wrap. The Colts play at the Titans next week. and that's a division, that's a conference and division, rival that I'd like to see the Colts be ready for. Coaches?